Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Word. I'm Pastor Michael Jarboe. Hold on 1 second. It is not just another edition of the Daily Word, friends. It is officially, you can't read this because it's the 100th Daily Word. Woo! This is our 100th Daily Word. Julia Jordan, our director of communications, let me know that I would have the honor of doing the 100th Daily Word. And what an honor it is. Thank you all for joining us on this journey. It has been, we went from it being so nice and neat and professional with a camera up at church to now doing it at our homes. I'm here at my house right now, upstairs in one of our guest rooms, and it's been cool to hear fellow pastors and leaders of our church sharing a little tidbit of wisdom and hope and grace amidst all of this uncertain time. So I'm glad that you're here with us today. The question for me, I'm wrapping up this sort of series on expectations, and we're talking about where do you find grace? Where do you find grace? Or what is grace? Even more specifically, what is grace? That's a big question to ask. My mind went to two different places. Number one, my favorite quote is by a woman named Anne Lamott about grace. She's an author. I love her books. If you want to start with one of her books, try Traveling Mercies by Anne Lamott. She's incredible. And she writes this. It used to be a little tag at my email addresses. I'd put this down here because I love this quote so much. And she writes this: I do not understand the mystery of grace, only that it meets us where we are and does not leave us where it found us. Oh, come on. Let me try it one more time. I do not understand the mystery of grace, only that it meets us where we are and does not leave us where it found us. For me, what I hear there is grace is moving. It's not static. It's present, and it helps to exist in all sorts of situations that we find ourselves in, and it never leaves us the same. Now, does the quote say, and you will turn out fine, and things will be okay forever after that? Or you will not struggle anymore in your life? But what it does say is that it goes with you, and it changes you. We know that through God's grace. We see that through baptism, right? We baptize children. I got to baptize 2 children and a mom last week, and it was so special. But we know that that child just after baptism isn't going to have struggles, isn't going to go throughout life making mistakes. No, mistakes happen. They occur. We fall off the pathway. We get back on, but grace never leaves us the same. And I think that there's something beautiful about that. So I love that quote when I think about what grace really is. And then the other quote, I was like, I got this Hamilton poster behind me, but that's perfect. There is such a beautiful story of grace. You know, if you haven't seen the musical, I got to see it in Chicago and Houston. If you haven't seen it on Disney Plus, what? Where are you? Do you need me to give you the passcode to get Disney Plus? I'll help. We'll charge a church or something. But you got to watch it. It's an incredible story. It's a love story. It's a story about the start of our country. But there's within the story, Hamilton, not to spoil anything for you because it's history. You can't say spoiler alert with history, because just open up a book. Hamilton commits the act of adultery and falls in love with another woman, and his wife Eliza is heartbroken and leaves him, and for a long time he finds himself in a deep, dark, depressive space, and over time he finds the way to work back into her life, and she opens up her heart to him, and it seems unimaginable. All of the stuff that he has done, all of the the struggles that he's put in her way, the times he chose something else outside of her love, it goes on. Now, I don't mean to approve when adultery happens that you just have to take back the person who did that to you, but we witness that act of forgiveness. And forgiveness and grace go so close. They hold hands and walk down the streets of life with us. And so there's this moment where they're walking in this garden, Alexander Hamilton and his wife Eliza, and this quote from one of the songs says, "There are moments that the words don't reach. There is a grace too powerful to name. We push away what we can never understand. We push away the unimaginable." They're standing in the garden, Alexander by Eliza's side. She takes his hand. It's quiet uptown. Sometimes we can find grace. Grace is in the smallest of moments, too. It doesn't have to be grandiose. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be like forgiving someone who has wronged you. But grace can also be understood through holding the hand of someone that's hurt you, of crying alongside someone who is weeping, of holding a person when they feel most at doubt. That's what grace has the power to do. So remember, grace, again, does not have to be this like Jesus explosion. It can also just be a moment with someone who's in need. Where can you extend grace this day in 2020? There are so many opportunities, and I hope you'll find them. I hope you'll seek them out. Because the hope is that we are not just receivers of God's grace. No, the real hope is that we are abundant givers of God's grace to the people who need it the most. So, on this 100th episode of the Daily Word, friends, give out grace. Give it out. Don't stop. The world needs it. Go in peace. Amen.